Hi, welcome to Vocabulary Wednesdays, and my name is Chris with Magoosh. Today we have compound words. Now, compound word is a word made of two other words. You stick those two words together, and voila, you have a new word. Now, today I've chosen words where you take two words, of course, compound words, but these two smaller words don't make sense when you put them together. But what happens is this surprising meaning emerges. So let's take our first word here, which is Hallmark. So I'm walking down the hall and I'm marking the walls. I'm a Hallmark. Probably not a very useful word. Hallmark is actually a distinction of excellence. Now, many of you are thinking, wait a second, I know, or at least I associate Hallmark with birthday cards or greeting cards in general. And the idea here is if Hallmark is the standard of excellence of any one thing, then as far as greeting cards go, the best greeting cards are Hallmark greeting cards. Now, I think their commercials are great in that kind of sappy sense, where they're really cheesy and schmaltzy, and you're trying to stop yourself from crying, and usually you don't. Hallmark, though, if you think of those cards are actually very beautiful looking, and hence the hallmark of a good greeting card is Hallmark. Of course, other contexts, there's champagne. If you drink, I don't necessarily drink champagne, but bubbles. They say there are all these bubbles percolating to the surface. That shows you that champagne is of a high quality. So hence Hallmark, a distinction of excellence. Oh, by the way, having a robust vocabulary is a hallmark of a good education. So once you study GRE, you will hopefully have more vocab, including this word, Lodestar. A lode, like the mother lode, is basically a large amount of some ore, whether it be gold or copper. Star, well, we all know Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So you put the two together, and maybe you have a gold star up in the sky. It doesn't really make sense. The meaning, though, comes from the Lodestar, which was the North Star. So back in the days when sailors didn't have the technology to be able to navigate without the night sky, they relied on the North Star. And the North Star, or Polaris as it was also known as, guided sailors, guided them safely to their way. So, now figuratively speaking, the definition we have today of Lodestar is anything that guides us, that inspires and motivates us. So I think to the world of music. Every great musician, or almost everyone, has had a Lodestar, someone else who's gone before them, who's inspired them, who they're trying to live up to. You can go back as far as classical music. Franz Schubert, his Lodestar was Ludwig van Beethoven. A little bit more recently, 20th century, Miles Davis, great jazz trumpeter, his Lodestar was Duke Ellington, at least at first, before Miles Davis kind of went his own way. And of course, music today, Britney Spears, I don't know, maybe Mariah Carey, or even American Idol. All of those singers up there probably could point to that one person who has inspired them, that one person who is their Lodestar. Next, we have piecemeal. This is interesting, a piece, a little piece of something. A meal, piecemeal, eating your meal very slowly. Again, these are surprising definitions that emerge out of two words when you join them together. To do something in a piecemeal fashion is to do it a little bit at a time, kind of in a scattered brain sort of way at random. You can think of cities. Not all cities, but many cities have grown from little villages, become hamlets, townships, and suddenly they're London, major metropolitan megalopolis cities. And when you go there, things don't often make sense. Roads curve this way and that, and you get lost very easily. The reason why is those cities were built in a piecemeal fashion. Street at a time, a building at a time, over hundreds and hundreds of years. In some cases, thousands of years. Now, when you do something in a piecemeal fashion, it means that you're adding little bits here and there. Maybe you have a website. A lot of people build websites these days, and over the years, you've added this feature, that feature. In essence, your website, the final product, isn't exactly what you thought it was, but it's something that you've arrived at in a piecemeal fashion. And finally, most interesting with this word, very vocabulary. Think about it. Where have you learned all your words? Well, you've learned some here, you've learned a little there. And they've all gone to create your working lexicon, your working vocabulary. And thus, our own vocabulary is we build in a piecemeal fashion. And hopefully this will be part of that piece. Magoosh Vocab Wednesdays. I'll see you next week. In the meantime, check us out at gre.magoosh.com.